I'm back and I have a few little circle things. I don't know if you can see them. I'm also a jewelry designer and I punch a lot of metal circles, and I realize my metal punch will punch paper as well. So I tend to punch quite a bit of paper, quite a few paper circles, and love to use them in my collage. You can see that they also somewhat disappear, but they leave a little bit of the text. I'm just, again, using clear encaustic medium. Some of the older books that have yellowed and changed color a little bit are even more my favorite. The pages are really thin, and oftentimes stuff on the other side will come through as well, kind of a ghosty effect, which I really enjoy. So I've put a few of those down. I also have some of these remainder pieces that I tend to like, where I've punched out holes. Kind of like these. I'm a big circle fan. Straight lines and circles, I like both of those things. So I tend to save a lot of these pieces that have cut circles. And so I'm just, again, pasting them down with clear wax, and I'm just letting it cool for a minute, and I'm done with that section. So again, this is ready to go. I could hang it right now if I wanted to. I don't have to do anything else to it, which is one of the really lovely parts of Encaustic. I also have some of this joss paper. It's traditional Asian, Chinese, I think, paper, apparently burned during funerals and whatnot, I think, if I've got that right. But it's really lovely. I think it's also called ghost money, but it's really lovely because it's got these kind of metallic-y pieces of silver and gold adhered to the paper, and so I just really like just kind of cutting some shapes. I tend to like these funny little bullety shapes, or at least that's what I'm into at the moment. And again, I'm not thinking about it too much. I'm not stressing about what's going to happen and where they're going to go. I'm just going to put some of those randomly around my design. And you can see that silver really sits up. It has a nice sheen to it still, even with the wax on it, which I really enjoy. So I'm going to put a few of those down. And then I'm going to come back in a minute and put my final piece on. I'm going to find some little illustration from an old book. It's kind of what I love to do, just little old storybooks and old encyclopedias from the 60s that often have really bad information in them, but have really fun illustrations. So I'm going to go find one of those, and I'll be back. So I'm back. I found a little piece of colored tissue, which also works great. It's just purple left over from some birthday gift or something we got. I throw all my tissue in a bin and end up using it later. So I've cut some little thin strips, and I've just added them down here to the bottom. And I'm just going to lightly touch the wax. I'm going to hold them in place for a second and lightly touch the wax with the tip. And then once that's kind of cemented down, then I can go back and add a little bit more wax. The other thing that's nice about working with wax is when you put paper down on top of it, you can push it in and pretty much it'll stay. You don't have to worry about it slipping around too much. So I've got those there, and then I found this little illustration from I have a lot of old bird guides that I really love, and this is one from there. And I played around with it in various places, but I kind of like it just off here, off to the side. So I'm going to put it right about where this stick meets up with my other little piece of paper. And the same thing. Now this has a little bit more of a sheen to it. So sometimes I take these thicker pieces of paper with a sheen to it from books, and I just kind of saturate it a little bit before I get it on my piece. It's not imperative, but I found that sometimes this works a little bit better, kind of from the back side, and I don't get too worried about exactly covering every square inch, but it gives a little more tack, and it also starts the soaking process to have that wax start soaking through the paper. And so when you go back here, you've got a little bit more wax to work with. And you can see the one thing that does happen with wax is it does change, because it saturates the paper, it changes the nature of the colors a little bit. I tend to like that, but you know, it may not be some part of it you love. So I'm just going and getting a little bit of wax, making sure I've got it really kind of in there. And then I'm just going back through and making sure I've got wax everywhere. And I'm going to take, sometimes as a final little piece, I'll do a little bit of black. This is black. And I just kind of like to hit a tiny bit, just to kind of give some hits of color that I may not get otherwise. A little strange little contrast. And sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't love it. And you can always scrape it back off. That's another great thing about the wax. So let's see, what do we have? I have a mess on my edges again. So again, I'm just going to go to the back side and up close to the edge and just trim it off. And once we trim it up, I think we're going to be done with this little collage. And so there you have it. A nice, quick, fun little collage that's ready to hang today. Thanks. So like I said, all of the things that I've used today are available in some form or fashion online, pretty much. You can get the paints, you can get the tool, obviously you can buy books at thrift stores like I do, you can do all of that stuff. But if this is an intriguing process and you'd like to get started quickly, I have put together a little kit that I call my Shoebox Encaustic kit. It's pretty fun because it does all fit in one little box. It's got a little bit of instruction here that comes with it. And then I have a variety of paints, encaustic paints, a little bit of medium. This is the clear medium. Some more darker colors, the cool colors. And then I also have these little, I can put in some of the artist trading cards. There's 20 in each pack in the Bristol, and then 10 of the watercolor paper to give you a sample of the different kinds of paper. And these little collages are super fun. They go together really fast. I've got a couple other videos on my YouTube channel that just show this size collage, and they're super fun. And then I also have little tiny circles like I like, and I have little punches, shaped punches and whatnot, and a packet of collage paper with a variety of things that I put together, and then a packet of the stamped tissue paper. It's quite a bit of material, and you could definitely get a lot in some of the little other tissues that I use for various stuff. So, you know, with this kit, you've got the ability to make, 50 little tiny artist trading card sizes. Clearly enough paint for all of that. And, once you start finding your own papers and find your own backgrounds, you can really go wild with this once you have the tool. Oh, the tool is supposed to be in there too, but it's in there. It comes in there. So anyway, that's available on my Etsy site. The address is below. It's on my Encaustic site, and it's available there. And I really strongly encourage you to, if not get the kit, then try getting the tool and some paints. It's a really fun technique I think you'd really enjoy.